Okay. Hopefully things are live right now. All right. Oh, just put a bit of music. Okay. Hey. So uh oh. All right. So yeah. Welcome to the Guilty Gear Strive Developers Backyard blog number 2. Um we did one on the first blog like was about a month ago. This is now the second kind of official devlog thing. So, all right, released. Yep, July 3rd. So, thanks for reading Developer Material. This is Akira Kitano. Thank you for your responses. Go to create dialogue. Yeah. So, it's the same old thing. Um, the goal of this blog again is to kind of create dialogue between the developer and the players. So it seems like the focus of this blog is going to be on Roman cancels, just like an expanded explanation on them. So before we get answering to questions and comments, this crucial system, the game, the Roman cancel. What is a Roman cancel? Okay, as the name implies, a Roman cancel allows you to cancel your character's move. Okay, you can use in many situations to get different benefits than allows in exchange for using meter. All right. Um. So yeah, it's not. Roman castles has been a thing forever. I think on GD, but uh, it seems like it's a mechanic that they kind of make more complex with every iteration, and it's definitely a thing that they made pretty complex in Strive. So the effects of Roman cancels, different effects depending on the situation. When you activate Roman cancel, a shockwave comes out that slows down the movement of your opponent if they are in range. This is the key to mastering Roman cancels. When you activate, yeah. So like a big difference between Roman cancels in Exalt and and Strive, at least the form that leads to some sort of slowdown, is that now that slowdown is linked to this halo that appears instead of just being something that forces the other character to be in slowdown, any regardless of their position. So yeah, that does mean like you still have the freeze, so that is considerable, but yeah. um yeah, upload seems fine. Yeah, but the slowdown is now linked to this Halo, and it seems like it's with all forms of Roman cancel, at least the ones that aren't the fast ones. They all have this Halo. Uh, so when activated, as you hit the opponent, the shockwave will cause the opponent to bounce up slowly. Easy combo with the move that will normally connect. All right, let's see. So one cool thing about this dev blog is they made like a lot of videos. So cool. Let's check out the first one. All right. We see one important effect of the uh, Roman cancel itself is that it seems like uh, it like pops the character up even if they're grounded, uh, which is pretty interesting. Yeah, yeah. It seems like we see there that Kai is grounded because of the RC blast. He was popped up, and that enables like juggle combos like close slash to heavy. Right. So that seems like a way to launch uh, the opponent without using like certain normals or specials that like deliberately do that. Alright, this one's like more straightforward, just canceling revolver into like an air combo. DP. This combo is pretty cool. Just the yeah, it seems like they made the jump K to be like jump cancelable again, which means like it's air dash cancelable. Yeah. So okay, it seems like I'm having problems with the upload limit, I think. Uh Sorry about that. Yeah. So jump K, air dash to core string. Last one is throw RC. Yeah, classic. Alright, so this version is like pretty straightforward. Shockwaves comes out even if you're not attacking. In this case, the shockwave doesn't blow the opponent back, but it does temporarily slow them. Yeah, I don't make them. So this is the kind of I guess now it's showing the blue RC. Oh, hey there, Zigor. Hey there, Becky. How's it going? Yeah, cool. Um, so yeah, uh, so this is explanation for like the neutral RC, which is like if you're not doing any particular move, and then you just RC. I think that's how this one works. All right, let's see. So yeah, this reacts to the Kai's new kick move in order to be able to punish it. And this is like using it as Oki, kinda, to get like a safe from DP 2k. Yeah, and punish that DP. Simple stuff. Uh, uh, it could have potential. Like right now, it seems like it might be a bit of a waste, maybe, to like spin RC just to get like a meaty 2k that is safe from DPs. But you know, I think in this game it might work better because meaties beat throws, so stuff like this can still be more beneficial than if it's like in Exalt or any other Guilty Gear where like one frame moves like throws would still beat meaties regardless of slowdown. When used before an attack hits or as it ends, you can cancel the recovery of the move. So slow down the opponent. Shockwave touches them. Yeah, counter opponent of it. So this is like the like the purple RC equivalent. But what I noticed is that basically if you RC in Strive outside of hit stop, you'd get this version. So even if the opponent is in hit stun, if you do the RC outside of hit stop, or if it's a move that is a projectile, which means that your character doesn't have hit stop, then yeah, so like a fireball or a gun flame or stuff like that. That stuff doesn't have the red RC version. Uh, yeah. So we'll see some examples here. Right, pretty simple, like classic, like Shoro. If you do a fireball, they jump on you, and then you cancel, and then anti-air. Pretty simple stuff. Yeah. So this is a way to RC to not get whiff punished. Yeah, and then you counter their like whiff punish attempt. And this is like probably the most like this is like an aggressive use of it. It's like doing it in pressure. So like you RC and then you get like a jumping, which gets you more pressure, and you can probably do a mix up maybe. All right. Yeah. So simple stuff. Activated. This is the block RC. So this is the replacement to dead angle. Yeah, there we go. The simple stuff, this part is pretty interesting because it seems like you notice here, like it almost was like you definitely get some advantage, but it's not much. But if you have the block RC hit the opponent while they're in the air, you get a lot more advantage, I think. So it's it's definitely a weird change from like dead angle, which is like much more like a straightforward, like you knock them away. But I guess it applies since it kind of, even you can say it probably applies to dead angle, but because dead angle already gives you a knockdown, you usually have a lot of like frame advantage, even if it pushes them far. So it seems like this is like an interesting aspect where like if the if the block RC was like really grounded, it you get nominal like small amount of advantage, and they're pretty close. But if it hits them airborne, you get a lot more. Yeah. And I think the last one is like RC. Yeah. And this is pretty interesting. I guess it's a way to use like RC to maintain pressure, even if you block 2H or like an anti-air. So that is a pretty novel idea, I honestly like never thought of it that way. Like when I kind of questioned like the use of block RC in the air in a defensive way when like you already can block anything in the air. Because of in this game, if you're in the air and you block, you can block anything. There's no air unblockable moves aside from like air throws and stuff like that. So why would you try to spend like 50 meters just to push them away in like a situation like pretty safe? But this is a pretty novel idea, I think, using it to like maintain your like offense, because at this point Kai was like here probably Kai would be like looking to cancel to some other move that gives him like advantage, or like he could probably cancel to like like I don't know, maybe he, and like he could probably do some sort of like mix up, maybe if he can do 2H into dust. So or 2H into like a low, like a sweep, or like 2H into like stun edge or stun edge ORC or any sort of move that reduces pressure, and this like stops him from doing that. So it's interesting. Like you can get the upper hand in any situation, both offense and defense, just by making good use of RC. Next, I'd like to introduce trickier uses of this mechanic. Those of you who are veterans of fighting games as a whole. Techniques using Roman cancel. So, the slowdown from Roman cancels lasts until the clock shown above the character hits disappear. Because the slowdown continues even after landing attack, you can do this to launch strong offense. Alright, also if you input the motion for dash, just before the Roman cancel activates, you'll move swiftly in that direction. You can use this to move closer for a combo, move away to dodge an attack, or land quickly from the air. Alright, so this is gonna be showing off the dash RC. So in this game, if you input the if you input like a dash in any direction, and actually it's in 4 directions, so like forward or back or down or up if you're in the air, so like you can double tap down or double tap up, it will enable you to like move a bit without seeing. Yeah, I don't think this is like I'm not sure how viable this is, but it seems like it is interesting. Like I'm not sure like this is like a mix-up attempt, but like this shows you that it's I think they kind of didn't put the UI element here, because I think they want to change it, but like again, because the slowdown still is in effect, Soul was able to do close slash into close slash again, which enables him to launch and then do like these air dash jump K combos. Yeah, this is a pretty cool usage of it. I think, which is so in at least in Exalt, YRC and all types of RC has some sort of invincibility, usually at the freeze moment. Basically, the frame before freeze and the frame after the freeze is invincible, which makes it 2 frames. And sometimes you get situations where like because of your RC you'd actually like invert through stuff. It's not easy because it's such a small window, and it's like with the YRC, it's like not an instant thing. It comes out after like 5 frames, so it's hard to like get that to work. But you know, it's something that happens. I imagine the invincibility is here, but because you can actually move during the freeze, it's what enables you to do this, which is like, so from the start of the freeze until the end, you are able to move the character forward, and now Soul is like behind the fireball, so he's able to punish Kai. That is a pretty interesting way to use it, and yeah, it's definitely one that I don't think people figured out. Yeah, this one's pretty like something that people figured out pretty quickly, like using it as a kind of throw setup, having Conflame be there as a threat, and yeah, but the neutral RC one is actually pretty interesting. Also, I think at this point, yeah, Kai was in the slowdown. Yeah. So, yeah. It's pretty cool. So, like, using it as a movement tool to get past stuff. Like, I can imagine. It's just that, it might not work against like pokes or stuff like that, because if you if you RC at the moment the poke is active and you just get closer, unless that poke has like a hitbox gap inside up close, then you're just moving from like a point where like there's a hitbox to another point where like the hitbox is still there, which is not the same as like in this situation where like Soul does it here against the fireball. Hold up. Is it this one? Yeah. So like Soul was here and then it goes there, and the hitbox is like right there, so that enables him to get past it. But if say it was like Faust or someone else, and like even Kai, if he had a poke that the hit has a hitbox that can reach from here to here, and Soul like tries to RC dash forward, it wouldn't be that useful because like he'd probably get hit, or it might be a situation where like the recovery on it is zero and he might be able to block. In any case, or maybe even reversal DP, but it's not a situation where like it's that as useful against pokes and other stuff. But this is pretty interesting. Like stuff. Also, as the Roman cancel itself can be cancelled with special moves directly after activation only. As you can move even more quickly than usual. This can speed up your offense and allow you to follow back to make use of the starter move. So this is a demonstration of like quick Roman cancels, which is like you input RC and then you immediately input the special you want, and that would just cancel, like that would just allow you to do the special immediately without the slowdown, and like with like even without almost without the freeze. We'll see it here with the red version. Yeah, so like there was almost no freeze even. It was like I think you have to do this by buffering in everything. You have to buffer in the RC, and then you buffer in all the special, all of it during the probably the DP portion. Yeah, like that. It's pretty cool and all. I'm gonna talk about this more later. So yeah, this enables like pretty cool combos. Fafnir into Night Vortex. Yeah, this is the purple version. It seems like with the purple version there's still a freeze because you can't buffer in this version. You're not doing it during hit stop. Like when you do the RC during hit stop, you get the red version, which means that you obviously you kind of have time to buffer in all the other stuff. But because this is one you're doing it during kind of whiff or like no hit stop interaction, no one's like so the freeze is like has to come out. But notice that there's no slowdown. Like there's no the like RC blast slowdown. You just go immediately into the other special. So yeah, this can work pretty strong as like a way to like mix people up or like do stuff like this. But yeah, it's probably not as like it probably wouldn't be as strong. It probably would be stronger if there was no freeze, but it's I don't know, with the way the game is programmed and how you input it. I don't know how they can avoid the freeze, but what I mean, we'll see. Alright. These techniques can be used simultaneously as well. So this uses both, which is like it uses like fast RC with dash RC. So I imagine it'd be like you do some sort of special, and then you input dash, and then RC, and then into a special move, and that will enable you to do them. Improve the quality. Yeah. Hey, some cool stuff. Yeah. This is like all with the red version, the one with the like during hit stop. So all of this is pretty like cool and stuff. You'd be like, uh, especially this combo, which is like pretty swag. One with the gunflame feint, the gunflame feint, so that you go back into neutral, and then 2K slash and the revolver and then wall break. These techniques are simply examples how I'm looking forward to see what further discoveries. Yeah. So like I think with this blog they did a pretty good job showing off like what is like possible with the RC. But it didn't it's something that the blog actually covers later, which is like um the game as it is doesn't really give you reasons to go with those types of combos instead of like using the standard like you know blah blah slash heavy revolver RC, use the RC blast and then follow it up normally. It might be there's speculation that maybe the RC blast itself and slowdown add some scaling or like some sort of proration so that because it's so easy to follow it up after the like the RC blast after the slowdown, you probably you can do whatever you want. It might be like scaled, but if you do like these fast RC versions or the purple versions or like some other type that's like not as easy, that might be more damaging. We'll see. They might not. It might be. I imagine there might be situations where like, going from like certain special move and then canceling into another without the RC blast can enable you to combo stuff that you can't. Maybe the RC blast itself, the way it pops the opponent up, it might not be enough to combo into specific specials, but other moves might, depending on like that type of move. Like some moves like just want to go back to, let's say, is this the version? Like you can see the like DP pops Kai high enough to for like Soul to get a very deep gun flame when like the normal like RC blast hit wouldn't get you that much. You wouldn't get like a really deep up close hit of gun flame that hits them really high. That stuff remains to be seen and discovered. It's just not really obvious right now. Like there's no like obvious like meter stuff would be like, oh wait, fast RC is like only 25% instead of 50% because you don't get the advantage of the slowdown. You're like, yeah, or something like that. But I don't think that's something they're like trying to do. We'll get to that later. So these are like more questions that the dev blog answers, and this time both Kira Kitano and director Daisuke Shotari are responding. So question 1. This is about the ever elusive, the ever controversial UI. So I believe the UI moving as the health bar decreases is connected with the idea of decreasing the eye movement required. Check your gauge, mentioned last time. What is the idea behind this? So these are like questions sent in by like players and stuff like that. Alright. Our goal was to make it so the player could check their health bar and burst gauge in a single glance. Yeah, this is something they mentioned over and over again. As a result, however, the player could no longer look at a fixed place on the screen to check their gauge, meaning they had to search for it. Yeah, this is pretty much the complaint that most people had about the UI. It's like, yeah, okay, you have them all in one place, but that singular place keeps moving. So, so like if you want to, stuff like burst, especially if you want to see it for the opponent, is pretty important. If you want to know if they can burst, so that you can burst bait and stuff like that. And even for you, so you know that, okay, you're eating a combo and you know that, like, okay, I can get burst like in 2 hits, and at that point of the opponent's combo, it's either burst safe or not burst safe, or like they can bait, stuff like that. You need to have quick look for it, especially people that, because of one of the main techniques of burst baiting is actually not to look at the character themselves bursting. You actually look at the burst gauge, because that depletes sooner and is much more of a quicker indicator than the character's burst animation. So sometimes, like, people who like know their combos and can do them without looking at the characters, if they like memorize them really well with like muscle memory and stuff like that, they just do them and then look at the burst gauge while doing them. And then once that burst gauge, depletes, then they know that they're bursting, and then they immediately like RC or do something. So, but now when with it moving, it's probably harder to do. All right, question 2. And the good thing is, it seems like they finally heard their feedback. So it's like, yeah, we heard your feedback, and there we go, reconsidering our own thinking. This is pretty positive change, I think. So I'm looking forward to what they're planning. So we are planning to change the UIs. Cool. Question 2. Previous interviews, you mentioned that you want to create a greater degree of freedom combos than previous examples. However, in the closed baits test, using the same move multiple times, combo bam bringer, yep, classic like slash heavy bandit bringer bam bringer, whatever. Yeah, was extremely simple and powerful. So it seemed like everyone was using the same combo. I feel like this is departure from intent. How you intend to correct this? All right. Yeah. Yeah, this seemed like a issue that they had, and like, I think a big part of that was like because damage in Strive is so high, so like, and the way they kind of scaled it down is like everything does so much damage, and then like after a certain point, like it plateaus so quickly. You'd be like, okay, nothing does damage. Like, especially if you do like quarter combos and wall break, and add that with like guts and stuff like that, it can be like weird. With like the amount of damage you hit from like the first 4 or 5 hits just is like way higher than like the last 3. Obviously like scaling is needed and you need all that, but it seems like a bit on the extreme side. Anyways, so this is like a technical question. So I imagine Mr. Katano is the one that is more in depth and would be trying to answer this. So yeah, by itself, the existence of combos including the same move more isn't against our development intent. Of course, dust loops. Everyone knows dust loops. Dust loops are a thing. You just do jump D over and over and over. So it's not like, it's classic Guilty Gear. I don't think anyone complains about that. Loops are cool. Moving, move A only combos into move B. Yeah, right. However, in the beta test, there was almost no advantage using complicated combos instead of simple, easier combos. Yeah. Yeah, this seems like the intent. Like, why would you go, like, even the stuff they demonstrated here would not be beneficial if we considered using that in at least the beta test build. So like, it seems like not beneficial to be like, I'm gonna do the cool like dash fast RC into gun flame feint blah 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 stuff. Like, why bother? Why not just revolver RC 2H bringer Fafnir? There we go. That's like your combo. Why don't like work too hard for it? But and it seems like they understood that. Uh, one flaw we discovered in the test was only one combo route left an impression, and there wasn't enough inspire players to experiment. Okay. As far as how الفكرة, I can't give a generalized answer. They are continually making adjustments to many elements, so the damage, duration, attack, price, meter, they match the previous models and mechanics new series. So they said yeah, it's a problem. They're looking into fixing it, and they don't have like an answer right now. And I imagine, yeah, like it's hard to be like, oh, this is like how the game is gonna be, and like we're gonna explain to you how all these like aspects about the game works and give you reasons to do this instead of that. But it seems like hopefully it can work. It just depends on whether they can do it or not. Uh, but they don't have like an answer right now. Question 3. I have a question for character design. I'd like to know your intention behind the redesigns of the game. I'd like to know if there's a theme behind the design of. I have a question as composer. I'd like to know why there's so many vocal tracks. Okay, vocal tracks. Yeah, the lyrics based on the character and the perspective. Yeah, obviously. But whatever, we'll see the question. So yeah, Shutari is like more of the like obviously the director, and he's like the kind of the creator of here, and like he's more focused on the like style and aesthetics and stuff like that. So he's probably gonna be, that's the reason why he's answering this question. I said this last time on 24. First and foremost is to make this game is to create something entirely new. Yeah, and then continuation. Use a direction with music and designs. Easy for changing the character designs to make it clear at a single glance that this is a new series. And then the Guilty Gear franchise. As for the direction of the character design, my goal to make simpler designs that are easy for players to remember. My ideal is to create designs where even if someone draws a rough sketch of them, tell what character they're drawing. To be honest, I don't think I achieved this for every character. Okay, so this is like a pretty good there's like a thing where like if a character, if you can I'm not like really knowledgeable about that stuff, but like I read that if a character can be recognized just by their like silhouette, like by their shadow, then they're like those are like kind of the iconic like type of characters, and I imagine something like that is what they're looking to do. At least what Ishutar is trying to do. So like simple designs and stuff like that. And did they make it? Maybe. Like I think in some aspects, like Faust has like a simpler garment, like simpler like costume. Soul, I don't know, but and Kai, I guess it has clearer like a clearer like look. He doesn't like have it's like a costume that you can probably buy from like a trendy like whatever like fashion store, and you can kind of do a good job cosplaying as him without like making like elaborate like costumes that are like definitely like cosplay specific. So I guess that's their intention. This is introducing vocals to the medium is for the same reason, to make it completely new. Me, that doesn't mean writing a new song, but taking on the challenge to create a new era for the series. The perspectives in the background. Okay. Yeah. Alright, cool. Question number 4. I'm curious about these new iteration of GG characters and their moves. Alright. While some characters like Sol and Potemkin have move sets very similar to previous incarnations, some like Chip Axel may have lost iconic tools and have been very much redefined as characters. Effectively, I'm talking about the loss of Chip's teleport, Axel's defensive specials like parries and Benton, Not sure what that one is. Hmm. And the loss of May's ability to set up Dolphin. Okay, how are you striving? Okay, I like this. How? Okay, so how are you striving to find the balance between something totally new, something recognizable? Furthermore, can you offer insight as to why those moves and others had to be? So, yeah, it seems like some characters um, hmm, I think every character did like lose more moves than they gained. Um, uh, to a certain extent. Like Soul doesn't have Riot Stomp, doesn't have Kodakiro. Uh, his Grand Viper was replaced by Night Vortex. I don't know what. I don't think he lost anything else. Like, yeah, he didn't have his. He doesn't have his DP follow up. Uh, but he kind of gained Airbringer, which kind of works as like the replacement for Kodakiro, and Riot Stomp was like always like a very specific situational kind of move. Not like, I don't know. It might not work in this game with like weird walls and corners and wall breaks and stuff like that. But he seemed like he didn't lose much. Like Temkin lost like ICBM, lost like Troy Shula, and what else? He gained the guard break move. So, the guard break move has a very different use than like those other moves. Like Troshula has like specific like Oki situations, maybe sometimes like definitely combos. And ICBM was like a air combo knockdown tool, so that and corner carry tool that was used, or and sometimes movement with RC. So he just kind of lost like a lot of that and just got like a kind of guard crush move type of thing. Uh, but yeah, the other characters definitely lost way more. Um. Anyways, let's see what the response is. We are not using previous title as base. Thinking about changing character moves. We are redefining each character from the ground up for this new game. Right. Naturally, the concept behind the character from prior from bases, former bases. Okay. Alright, okay. We are not using it as a base. Okay. Alright, cool. But naturally the concept of form a basis for that. Okay. Seems like two people talking about taking things differently, but whatever. But at the very least, we're not developing them with the idea of removing things from the previous games. Hopefully, outline some of these are definitions. Chip, he has extremely fast movement, but many of his specials are risky. Axel, he excels at long range, but is heavily at disadvantage at close range. Right. So, okay. But, so stuff like his parries could work as like strong, like mid range tools, and he's pretty, he's not like weak mid range, he's like, he has long specials and all that, but he did, those like were pretty crucial in the mid range game as like a counter poking tool because while he has really good, long range tools like long range pokes, those are usually slower than other characters' mid range tools. So he needs a way to like either like use some of his like not as long like pokes, which has decent like startup, or like play a counter poke game with the parry. And now he kind of doesn't have that, but right, May, yeah, she has very simple ways to get big damage, but doesn't have many tricks. This seems like a weird way to define her, because why does she not have many tricks? It's only because it seems like you are only saying that she doesn't have many tricks because in Strive she doesn't have like complex like Mr. Dolphin Oki or like pressure strings and stuff like that. I mean, it's not like she didn't have, like, or like okay with like beach ball and stuff like that, and but here is just like saying outright that, like, yeah, it doesn't have many tricks. Like saying, let's see, like saying like if say if Venom returns and he's like much more of a pure zoner character and like has pre-average Oki with like uh no mad struggle or like easy way to like let's say he doesn't have ways to like do pretty big damaging like big balls and like charged balls or like multiple hitting balls and stuff like that. And then they just say like, yeah, but Venom was always like a pure zoner that was strong from long range but weak mid range. But you're just like defining him as such for this game, when I don't know if people would think that for the previous game. So like, I don't know if people would say like, oh man, it doesn't have any tricks. It's like, I don't know. In some sense, she has like more. She kind of have more like tricks and shenanigans than say Slayer. There's like much more of a like, yeah, Slayer does big damage, but he's not like that. Doesn't have like elaborate Oki setups, and all that stuff. So yeah, I don't know why. We'll see. Right, those are some examples. The plan is more explain all characters in the future to develop backyard. Number 5. This is about the new air dash. Can you guys talk about the new air dash? Before you mentioned this was an attempt to add some depth and address the issues of all air dashes requiring too much practice to react to. This goal may have been accomplished, but with how poor anti-air seems to be in relation to the strengths of jumping, how many options the new air dash creates, situation still seems skewed heavily towards aggression in the air. But now with no real regard for neutral interactions, no strong way to punish this kind of play. So, yeah. So, additionally, the feel of things is just not as clean. Maybe it's more confident, but do you think it's worth the impact of game and feel? So, like, this first point mentions that, previously, air dash, once you input air dash, you instantly start moving. Sure, the air dash itself has some sort of like startup where like you can't input any attack, and you definitely can block air attacks or do anything, or you're stuck, in like some sort of recovery, but at least you are immediately moving. And that was hard to react to because that's what creates like a lot of AIDs that kind of go some characters AIDs can be really fast that can hit you without noticing. It can be really fast to that it can be fast and go over like some pokes and punish them. And of course it was crucial with like the classic like late air dash or empty low mix-ups. And now with the like new obvious startup, they kind of moved that startup of the air dash, the recovery that you had to go through during the startup itself. So once you input air dash, you're stuck in place, and then once you start moving, you can do whatever. You're back in control, and you can input attacks or block or specials. Yeah, and the timing of when you do that does affect your like momentum, but that meant that like you can be like in previous Guilty is because of this, because you're moving during that startup, you're in a point where like you're vulnerable in terms of like not being able to do anything, but you're still moving yourself, which means like you're getting closer to the opponent, which means like they can be, this I'm talking about in like the neutral situations, which which means like you're getting closer to the opponent, and the opponent has options to hit you during the position where like you're moving in easier because you're getting closer to them. But here, the way air dash is, so like you can do like Soul can like start the air dash here, and sure, the air dash does have a startup, but all the startup is gonna be right here, and even I guess Axel can usually deal with that because like he's Axel. But if it's like some other character, if it's another Soul or May or Chip, they can't do anything while they're there. They can stop. They can hit Soul during the vulnerable startup. So like Soul is like jumping, which is pretty safe point because like you can still block, and then he does the air dash, which does have a vulnerable startup, but it's at a safe position. And then once you move, then Soul is completely back in control, so he can block, he can do all that stuff. And that's like the point that this question is talking about, where previously if Soul air dash here, instantly he would be moving, but there would be points during this movement where like the start of this movement he'd be vulnerable. So if Soul air dashes here, he'll be vulnerable all the way probably around here, and it would be much easier for any character to deal with like a character air dashing here by like air throwing them. It's like a classic way to deal with it, and that is not possible with this new air dash, like to deal with it that way. So like Soul will be air dashing in, and then he moves, and then already like during movement he can do whatever. He can block, he can do a jump slash, which makes him arc downward, and all that. So yeah, it's still heavy aggression, but with no strong way to punish it. It's definitely no like universal system way to punish it. When previously it was like a air throw punish. Yeah, this feel. Yeah, that's more like a feel thing. So, anyways, yeah. First of all, as of awareness when jumping in the ground air tears, we also notice this problem. Sorry about that. Yeah. So this has been an issue with like jumpings were pretty strong and anti-airs were pretty weak for like a lot of reasons. I think. Uh, I think one of them is like the way they made Gatling with 6P pretty weak because of their intentions of how the Gatling system. I talked about that a bit in the previous developer backyard blog thing stream. Oh, yeah, so specifically, jumping attacks had relatively small hurt boxes. Okay, making it common for jumpings to beat out anti-airs. But I put enough work into this aspect. We're planning to extend the hurt boxes of aerial downward attack. Alright, it's like the way Guilty Gear has like, so like, in Grand Blue Fantasy, like jumping attacks have huge hurt boxes, and sometimes like they can like be anti-aired, like even if they're like behind you. Like if someone's like doing, if Gran or like Catalina's doing like a cross-up jump, you can anti-air them like at 2H and they'll be like behind you. Even if the 2H doesn't like isn't that type that like obviously has like a kind of arcing hitbox that can hit behind. Um, but that is like much more like a neutral heavy, like slow movement game. With this game, if they're making like, this seems like not like unless the health boxes in this game are like exceptionally small, it might not be like the way to deal with it, but we'll see. Uh, so but I hate to be like, oh, they have dash, and then I press literally any button and then I win. Which it can be an issue. Like we'll see. Uh, it's just like a balance. But it doesn't like make it. And then at that point you'd be like, okay, are they gonna make Souls jumpy or Jump H have big health boxes? Those are like known to have like really tiny health boxes, but both of those are not like specifically like deep jump attacks. But to compensate, they have like low health boxes. Then the other end, you have like some deep buttons. They do have like big health boxes. Now it's something they need to balance things out. But uh, I don't know if this is like enough of a solution, or like honestly this is like the way to do it. Because it's like treating like a universal mechanic problem with like specifics. Like, okay, the problem with air dash is the buttons are bad. Like all the buttons have not enough hurt boxes. Like, okay, but would that affect how they're used when you're doing like a normal jumping? You're jumping away. Uh, does increasing the hurt box for the air dash make them like bad to use in forward jumps, or like back jumps or neutral jumps? Make them like easy to enter? Is that like a way to deal with it? I have to consider the pros and cons between the intuitive feeling of all the other action and the new mechanics in this game. We have the current new direction. Create something more interesting. So yeah, it seems like they're sticking with the new air dash. In the close base, the wall break mechanic was an interesting addition, and I quite like the idea of rewarding the attack player with meat. Okay, while giving them another chance. Setting their news. Okay. However, the increased tension was often considered not worth it. Yeah. So they would try to not cause a wall break by not finishing their combo. Moves. Are you considering changing the way wall breaks work in order to prevent this behavior? Or perhaps changing the reward upon wall break? So yeah, wall breaks, by phone says will always incentive upon gives you a neutral decision and increase meter gain. So yeah, the reward for wall breaks sometimes is just sometimes not worth it. For example, if you wall break them when you have full meter, then I don't know if the meter tension gain is gonna be that much helpful. Um, so why would you go with that when you could reset? Or in situations where we're like, um, like already have like a lot of meter and the opponent is like low on health, so why go with the wall break into neutral when I can just reset and like use the meter that I have to like RC and create pressure and like even do a mix up or whatever. Yeah, to be completely honest, as with beta, we believe that there is greater merit to breaking the wall rather than staying in the corner. Okay, of course we will continue playtesting, taking your feedback into consideration and adjusting the balance before release. However, we do not intend to completely deny the choice not to break the wall. We feel that is one element of freedom and mischief in good sense. It seems like their impression is that breaking the wall in at least the beta test build was pretty good, but it was like not. Uh, I don't know if that is like, you know, it seems like that what they thought. Uh, but they're just saying like, yeah, we're just the Binance and we're just gonna keep the. So they talked about like the whole like mischief thing, uh, and like the one of the earlier stuff talking feel like Guilty Gear. Yeah. So this is like an old video for the JPO 2020, which is like in February 2020. With a lot of mischief. Find games fun. So I guess like that's like grimy stuff. Like nasty mix-ups and stuff like that and cool stuff. Alright, cool. So it seems like one of the stuff reasons is like the not going for wall break is kind of a way to maintain that. Be like, okay, I would not break the wall so that I can create like this so-called mischief and like continue pressure, yeah, and all that. Yeah, so it's this thing they kind of, it's a way they define like kind of a fighting game aspect that is is like crucial, I think, with Guilty Gear. It's like very exemplary of Guilty Gear as a series, like the whole like crazy combos, crazy setups, nasty mix-ups, unblockables, all that kind of stuff. And it seems like the whole like idea of not breaking the wall would maintain that. Question 7. What is currently the most difficult aspect in developing this game? Alright, seems like not a... It seemed like more of a curious question rather than answering like a player's concern, but... Anyways, creating a new feel and a new excitement out of the genealogy of Guilty Gear. Alright, and yeah, it seems like that's it. About the future of developers' backyard. And us next character in August. We are currently accepting submissions. So yeah, now you can like ask questions here, which they can address in future, like developer backlogs, not backlogs, backyard dev blog. Please be aware that obviously we can't answer questions about what character will appear or be playable. Also, we can't everyone submit. Okay, obvious stuff. Follow, get here, blah blah. Alright. So yeah. There's some like I think a big part of this like devlog is like kind of showing off what people didn't know or weren't able to do, or like weren't like or maybe didn't know much about in like the 3 days of playing the beta test, like the Roman cancels, which is like kind of a way to salvage the whole like, oh, this game is not deep, oh, the combos in this game are boring and stuff like that. And yeah, sure, they showed off that you can do all kinds of stuff in this game, but they didn't really answer the reasoning why you'd want to do all this stuff, why you'd want to use like fast RC with dash, dash fast RC. Yeah, why would you do this instead of like doing the using the RC blast? Like, why is it like these types of combos, like this stuff? Like, yeah. Let me check the. Is it? Yeah. I think this is the one. Yeah. Why would you do this instead of just doing this? Yeah. Oh, no. What was the one with the revolver? Yeah, I think this one is like a revolver. Yeah. Why would you? Why not? Why wouldn't you do this like the combo that everyone did? This did a shit ton of damage. It did like a lot of core carry, and yeah. Why would you do this instead of like, why would you? Not do that and instead like kind of input. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah. Oh wait, actually, I just noticed. Oh, okay, this is pretty cool. So revolver is an air move. So what Soul was able to do is like to RC downward, and that enabled him to cancel into a ground special, which is actually I haven't noticed that before. But still, I think it could just revolver and then just down RC and then use the blast, and then you're already on ground, and Kai's popped up in the air with the RC blast. So This is pretty cool, but I don't know if this is worth going for. Like, if this was like maybe 25%, or maybe didn't have as much scaling, or if it like used like less meter, or like it probably didn't have like it didn't like reduce tension gain after, maybe you'd go with these like harder combos. There might be like character specific stuff, but that's like not, usually you want to keep like a system, like especially with like something like Roman Cancel, you want like a reason for everyone to use this system. Like, I think one of the reasons why like some characters in Strive didn't benefit as much from the system is that YRC didn't help them as much. I think one of the better examples is like Slayer. For the longest time, I don't think he had like good uses for like YRC in terms of like Oki or like neutral situations, compared to someone like Kai or Soul, where they have like Gunflame or projectile YRC. Like, YRC benefited characters with projectiles so much more than physical like type of characters like Slayer. And it's only after Helter Skelter YRC that we're like, okay, now he can use it. Yeah. And yeah, to a certain extent, Potemkin kind of had a similar situation, but then he got Trishula YRC. So yeah, hopefully they can see that and like try to address it, so that like there'll be a reason for like every character to use these like harder type of RCs, where like you have to input dash and then immediately cancel that and input a special move to like bypass the RC blast to give you like better reasons to use that. It's kind of similar situations with KOF. So like in previous KOFs, with HD systems, you'd have stuff like HD bypass, which is like the way you like, if you're familiar with KOF, I wish I kind of had the video. Actually, maybe I can search for it here. KOF HD bypass. Oh no. So KOF HD bypass. Yeah. So like in previous, okay, because right, yeah, this is just a quick explanation. So like this is a way to like kind of, yeah, hopefully good quality. Okay. Yeah. So with this situation, like King cancelled / immediately into a special, and that was beneficial because otherwise, if she just did a normal max cancel, she wouldn't be able to like confirm into a combo from that far away. She can't do far sense D from like max range, and then HD, and then dash in close enough to get like a decent combo. You should dash and then still be at a far range with like, so none of her normals will combo. But with this, by going directly into like a special move, it makes her gets her closer. And yeah, this example with like, yeah, so this is like another example of like Clark was able to cancel like his Faraday, which is not a cancelable normal, into super. And if it was like, if he just did like a normal BC activation, then he'd just be far away. And even if he was able to dash in, because of the way grabs work, you have to immediately cancel into grab, instead of like or else it would just whiff. So it's like a situation where, like, it's a kind of this kind of micro mechanic that is related to. So just go with 13. So in 13 though, it's kind of less useful. Yeah. So like, so in this situation, because of the way they addressed HD, once you HD activate after normal, the game itself, like the character itself, like moves forward so fast that usually they're like within close range, and they'd have like really, they'd be close enough to combo. And that's obviously the situation in KO14. Like, see any KO14 match, or like KO14 uh KO14 combos, any, like, just do a block combo persona. Like, yeah, you can. No, please, no. We need max activation. Alright, that's no. God damn it. Hopefully this will. Yeah. It's not like, yeah. I wish I kind of had that set up, but my point is that from, like, I mean, if you watch any match, like, from like a lot of characters from the like far pokes, they can, like, yeah, they can max cancel, and then they've already be in like close range. So like, you wouldn't need HD bypass, because nearly any HD activation would put you in the range where, like, you're close enough to combo. So I mean, the mechanic itself is still there. You can still HD. I think you can still HD bypass. But there's not much reason for it. Unless, aside from like very specific situations, like, it enables you to use like an EX move pretty early, and you'd have like a lot of EX meter, but it's like very, very like niche. So like something like that is like a good kind of similar situations to the difference between like a fast RC into like versus like a normal RC. Hopefully something like that is addressed. The thing about the UI that's like promising. Again, some stuff with the characters will be like, yeah, this is how the characters are. We're not changing the characters. The characters are like that. They've always been. Mei has always been not tricky. She just does simple damage, and yeah, she's like, we haven't changed her. It's obviously it's at least in the I mean, for better, at least their understanding of the issues that players have, whether they're gonna tackle it or not, I don't know. Sometimes, like, in a lot of situations, they're just like saying, "Oh, well, we understand that, but we think this is how it is." Yeah. So, anyways, thanks everyone for joining the stream and all that. I'm gonna be uploading this to YouTube, hopefully, pretty soon. And so the next trailer is gonna be in August. And yeah, so take care, everyone. See y'all soon.